Hitchhiking through the desert sands, no control, no rules, no plans. Her father's shadow far behind, freedom's taste she's here to find. Cassie's riding wild and free, a drifter's heart in harmony, streaming from the highway's light, a runaway in the dead of night. Hitchhiking through the desert sands, no control, no rules, no plans. Her father's shadow far behind, freedom's taste she's here to find. Cassie's riding wild and free, a drifter's heart in harmony, streaming from the highway's light, a chains to hold her down, just endless roads and city sounds. Cassie's riding loud and free, a drifter's heart in harmony, streaming from the highway's light, a runaway in the dead of night. Hitchhiking through the desert sands, no control, no rules, no plans. Her father's shadow far behind, freedom's taste she's here to find. Cassie's riding loud and free, a drifter's heart in harmony, streaming from the highway's light, a runaway in the dead of night. Hitchhiking through the desert sands, no control, no rules, no plans. Her father's shadow far behind, freedom's taste she's here to find. Cassie's riding loud and free, a drifter's heart in harmony, streaming from the highway's light, a runaway in the dead of night. The road is hard, the nights are cold, but she won't trade it for the gold. The wind, the stars, the open sky, a girl who's never saying goodbye. Cassie's riding loud and free, a drifter's heart in harmony, streaming from the highway's light, a runaway in the dead of night. She left behind the life she knew, chasing dreams and skies of blue. No more chains to hold her down, just endless roads and city sounds. Cassie's riding loud and free, a drifter's heart in harmony, streaming from the highway's light, a runaway in the dead of night. Hitchhiking through the desert sands, no control, no rules, no plans. Her father's shadow far behind, freedom's taste she's here to find. Cassie's riding loud and free, a drifter's heart in harmony, streaming from the highway's light, a runaway in the dead of night. Hitchhiking through the desert sands, no control, no rules, no plans. Her father's shadow far behind, freedom's taste she's here to find. Cassie's riding loud and free, a drifter.
Hello everyone, welcome to my stream. For those of you tuning in for the first time, my name is Cassie Morgan. I'm a Hitchhiking Drifter VTuber, and tonight we're playing Final Fantasy XIV again. Also, I see I have a new follower. Thank you, Left Hand Rule, for following. And hello, D-Haze. So let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, last time we're back in Charlene. And of course, we're stuck in a queue. Oh, hello, ship of Theseus. Oh, hi. Hmm. Alright. Oh, I dare say Master Fushino was as nonplussed as we to learn the identity of Heidelin's lunar custodians. As he will soon discover, they have much and more to offer the forum. Oh, it's fine. I understand. I suggest for you a return to the annex forthwith. We may yet have time to discuss thy recent adventures ere we are summoned to the rostra. Alright, let's see. Mm. Hmm. Uh. Oh, finally. The lag. It's fine. Well, each of the games, they have their own separate continuity anyways, so you don't have to, like, play any of the other Final Fantasy games to get it. It's just that they all have, well, they have their own, while they have their own continuities, they have, like, shared elements. Like, all of them, the currency is called Gil. And there's characters that share names, like, there's characters named Biggs and Wedge in every game, and a character named Sid in every game, and various enemies or allies have that have names taken from various mythologies. But, like, this is only one of two of the titles in the Final Fantasy series that are MMOs. The other one being Final Fantasy XI. However, it's very late, and I'm very far in the main story quest. I'm actually on, like, the third expansion, I think. Let's see, one, Heaven's Word. Um, let's see, there's Heaven's Word, Stormblood, Shadowbringers. Oh yeah, the fourth expansion, Endwalker. So that you'll get, like, a ton of spoilers if you decide to play the game. Oh, whoops. I'm in the wrong way. This one's closer. Mm. Mm. Hmm. Right. Not that I'm complaining around here, but I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Nor I thee. In extolling the virtues of Atheris, I didn't inadvertently awaken in the Lockworth the desire to avert our beloved star's demise. Crowd tells us you have obtained new knowledge that may aid us in our ongoing efforts. I have news to share regarding our study of the ethereal sea, but your findings are certain to be of greater interest, and so I would rather hear them first. To what revelations did Highland's Elpis flower lead? And that's when I realized the DNA evidence had been tampered with. And that's when I realized the DNA evidence had been tampered with. Then the dynamics is what drives the final stays. If it and a Akasa are one and the same, this all but proves Hana's theory. Were an entity though sheer force of emotion to channel this vast dormant reservoir into a raging river, its power might surpass even that of Aether. But if our star is so replete with Aether, said entity would need to be outside its influence to effectively manipulate the dynamics of the great expanse. Meteon. Rather, the sorrow and suffering of fallen civilization that she has been hoarding for millennia. Untold anguish and fear and hatred drawn from every corner of the universe, all for a single purpose, the destruction of Atheris. Then our foe is no longer some unknowable calamity. We have but one aim, to defeat Meteon. You make it sound so simple, but you're not wrong. Vanquish Meteon and we deliver the world from the final days, but to even attempt it, there are two conditions. First, we must determine her location. Before Meteon escaped, an enchantment was placed upon her by Venat, the woman who would become Hydaelyn. The implications of temporal magics are not entirely understood, and so we cannot assume that our Hydaelyn and the Venat you met in Elpis are one and the same. Nevertheless, due to her intrinsic qualities and all power of her being, I'd wager the Hydaelyn possesses this knowledge we seek. Whether she would share that knowledge with us, however, remains to be seen. After all, she intends for us to flee Atheris, not to stay. Do you suppose she has abandoned her pursuit of Meteon? The Venat, I know, would never give up. No, but Meteon is still out there. You can change. though not for lack of trying on Heidelman's part. Surely that's why she used me as a conduit for her will, and provided clues such as the Elpis flower. I believe she has been waiting for mankind's answer to Hermes' question. So what's the second condition? You must find a means to reach Meteon. Naturally, our chosen method would depend entirely upon wheresoever she has made her nest. Then commuting with Heidelman must by necessity come first. Did you and Mr. Matoya have any luck with the investigation of the Ethereal Sea? Sadly not, though we enlisted the help of Arnveld and other echo-based allies. We cannot detect so much as a whisper from Heidelin, even from within the antitower. Master Matoya is of the opinion that in the years since abandoning it, the Forum has found some other method of receiving instructions from Heidelin. If so, it would most likely use some sort of apparatus for observing the Ethereal Sea built closer to home. Sorry to interrupt. We've just received word from the Forum. Your presence is required in the rostro where they intend to discuss the Great Exodus. I was just fucking there. Then Father was able to persuade them. You're finally taking us seriously. Let's hear what they have to say. Let's see. Let's see. The forum is in session. As such, the roster is closed to visitors. A sign of the seventh dawn? Very well, you may wait in the corridor. Of course, entry will only be permitted on the condition you leave your armaments at the door, lest you forget the sacred institution holds rational discourse in the highest. The implements of war expressly forbidden. I have a feeling this is gonna bite us in the ass later. So, what do I have to do? Oh wait, never mind. Nation. Rabble, 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 rabble.
There is a matter I wish
you
to
took
raise
my
with you
hat.
before we enter. We are here to listen and to learn. But if the Forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends. By your leave, of course.
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Thank you, everyone.
If I may have your attention, the ad hoc session will now commence. The purpose of today's assembly is to brief the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, at their request, on the Great Exodus. You may enter. On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glaciers. We shall not soon forget your service to us, and the people of Radzat-Han. The Satrap, whom we have informed of the refugees' new arrangements, sings your praises as well. As an expression of our gratitude, we will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly as we are able.
Finally.
Then let us begin. First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
You are. It is for this purpose that Sharlayan has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenor and conveyed to safety. Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Sharlayan citizenry, which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after. Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn, beginning with our allies. Radzat-Han was foremost among these, but since the final days have already come to Thavnair, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
An ambitious plan. You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
As many as we can.
And how, pray tell, do you decide who to leave behind?
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
Questions as to the validity of that approach aside, are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct. This Ark, as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational and could be launched even today. However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
Seven hells. Is there anything to be done?
The ether burner, the primary means of propulsion once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient. Though cargo is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus, we are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem? We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on 2 conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
'Twas simple enough to deduce. You have a Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the anti-tower had you no other means of communication. One far more convenient, I suspect.
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your Ark.
We would be at liberty to refuse this proposal.
Of course. If we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here, who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
Delightful as always, Master Alfino. Oh, we couldn't have asked for a finer plan. Allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? The satire writes itself. Yet, what field has not benefited from a change in perspective? When we are at wit's end, what we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration. I, for one, have faith in my erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their terms to be perfectly acceptable.
Order! Order! We have no time to waste on debate. I call a vote. All in favor of agreeing to the Scion's terms? "71 in favor, 28 against. The ayes have it.
I love democracy.
Fortuneau, as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state.
Preferencing that meme.
And bear in mind that regardless of your personal misgivings, this is the will of the Forum.
Very well.
I call this session to a close. Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
Mm. Mm. Hold on. Mm. Sorry about not letting the rest of you in on my plan. I wasn't really thinking on my feet for the most part. But since we require both the means of communing with Heidelin and reaching Midgard, in a spur of a moment I saw involving ourselves with completion of the Ark as a way to work towards both objectives simultaneously. However, we must keep our end of the bargain by solving the problem of the Aether Burner. I like to think it's not a challenge beyond our combined expertise, or at least the expertise of our extended circle of associates. I'm sure Sid can help. It might behoove us to learn how an Aether Burner actually works before you attempt to prove it, though. As instructed, I shall take you to see the Aether Burner. Meet me outside the Archaeon. I must trust you can make your own way there. So the Ark is being built in Labyrinth, though it's hardly surprising. Where else could they conceal such a massive undertaking? Going underground. Our destination lies in the lower levels. The Forum, in its wisdom, has granted you access to the Archaeon's lift. Step inside and have Opheline take you to the medial circuit. I'm only going to get to see behind the curtain. Oh. You wish to use the lift, yes? I have sent your associates to head to Logisticon Alpha on the other side of Mariel Ergonomic. Yeah. Actually, there is something I have been meaning to... No, never mind. It can wait. Let us attend to the matter at hand. Yeah, Labyrinthos. I'm going. Can I use my mount? Yep, I can. Okay, good. Oh wait, I've got my pirate on, so I'm gonna use the whale. Oh, why is it so slow though? Straight tomato. I can't go that way. What the hell is it? Ow. Alright. We are to wait here while our father arranges for us to use the next lift. Oh, I'm gonna get a drink. Here being Logistricon Alpha, where the atmosphere conditions of Labyrinthos are regulated. Water is drawn from underground and dispersed as vapor, simulating the formation of artificial clouds and rain. By manipulating the temperature and air circulation, they are able to create the ideal environment for the growth and preservation of the biological samples kept here. Hold on, how do you know so much about it? My father brought me here as a child. What? And left me behind? Actually, you're the one who left me behind when you went off somewhere with grandfather. The night before, I had been asking father how clouds are made, so he decided to show me. It was fascinating. I peppered him with questions the entire time. "'Tis all too easy to take for granted the many interweaving aspects of the natural world, to grow inured to the wondrous. But having gained an understanding of the complex mechanisms employed by the Loporrits in recreating a similar environment, I have come to view such processes in new light. Subterranean gardens of Labyrinthos, the lunar prison forged to contain the ancient zodiac, the habitations built for all mankind beneath the moon's surface, each unique yet undeniably similar. "'Tis no mere coincidence. Ever since Highland unfolded to us the grim fate that awaits the theorist, every essential resource we could spare has been delivered to Labyrinthos in preparation for the great exodus, but that is not all. It is also a testing ground for the technologies that will allow us to settle on distant stars. By the way, stars... So the Loporrits have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable. That is not our final destination. Mankind must learn to propagate life where there is none, to thrive where all is barren. Alas, time is not on our side. I have arranged for all that enter the central circuit. It is there that most of our preparations for the great exodus are carried out, the construction of the Ark among them. Though our plans have been made public, access remains highly restricted. You, however, will not be subjected to said restrictions and will have free reign to come and go as you please, such as was the will of the Forum, after all. We will prove ourselves worthy of their trust, your trust. Then let's proceed. So, anyways, when they say star, they actually mean planet. They call planets stars in this setting. By decree of the Forum, the signs of the seventh dawn are permitted to enter the central circuit. I know it's easier for some reason. The ether burner is being constructed not far from here. Overseeing the work is Kokol Dunkol, after whom the forge is named. Once the necessary introductions have been made, I shall leave you with him to discuss the particulars. This way. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's more appropriate for the weather here. Much warmer. I don't think... Can I jump down from here? No, I can't. Thank you.
Could swap them out. No, been there, done that. Down near lost me eyebrows. Think, Coco, think! We'd be well on our way to paradise. Visionaries patting themselves on the backs for their grand accomplishments if you'd only think!
Yes, that does sound rather lovely.
Yeah! I mean, Master Force, you know, what a pleasant surprise. We're not blasting off already, are we?
The schedule remains unchanged, for better or worse. Which is why the Forum has elected to accept assistance in resolving the ether burner conundrum.
Not seen you lot down here before.
There are archons among their number, but engineering is not their expertise. Nevertheless, the Forum concedes the slim possibility that they may have insights to offer. If not, you are at liberty to return them to the surface, by whatever means you see fit.
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace. As the name ought to tell you, the ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise. and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding. Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our arc. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb. But it ain't perfect. According to my calculations, to travel to the moon and back fast enough for the forum's liking, the conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient. A measly 6%, you say? But if I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
Hast thou consulted with the Loperids?
Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer. The moon's propulsion systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive. It is no easy feat to convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say, and as I most certainly do not.
Yes, exactly! Damn it all, I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology! You're trying to drive me mad!
Do you speak of Allegan refined adamantite, perchance?
You know of it?
Only in the most general terms, I'm afraid. 'Twas an alloy of Allegan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded. As I recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Aye, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some ends like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through. Ain't a living soul that knows how to make it though. We were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the Northern Empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency would be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice. Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with. Drive calls from Ragnarok-class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need. But according to the Gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards. And the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up. It's rough going in there, even for the cream. Not sure they'd make it out alive.
Weren't we near that part of the Ragnarok when we went to destroy Bahamut?
Good job for someone else.
That may be for the best, though you doubtless find the task too dull for your liking.
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea alone, so handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option. Rather, if we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously... Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Of course. The floor is yours.
What's all this?
Gathering firewood, so to speak. We alone can accomplish little, but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us heavenward. This is Alphino. The Scions have need of you.
the theme music is playing, that means we're gonna get some,
Understood. I will contact the Lord Commander and dispatch our finest at once.
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the 12-Wood expedition myself.
Are you aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
Logically, such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of ether. Any extant instrumentation or devices would have likely found their way into the hands of etherologists, or enthusiasts.
Magical artifacts of Allagan design? The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all. Are there other ways we may offer aid? No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
Is there anything in Othard that might be of use to you?
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad. Any road, if you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics. Some of them can hold enough ether to summon a whole damn primal. Combine a source like that with the ether burner, and 3, 2, 1, kaboom!
I gather you heard his explosive enthusiasm. Might you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need to finish your starship. I am glad for the work, in truth. Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
Then why are we all still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking, and I'm a born plunderer. I'll be an old Charlian before you know it. Start mixing the grog.
I'm certain that can be arranged. Thank you all, and do be careful.
Just like that.
Aye, just like that. Our refined adamantite is on its way. Now let us consider our next steps, shall we? There's yet much to be done.
A time like these would remind of how famous or infamous Alpha Noah has become. Who would have thought he would achieve so much with a single link pearl conversation? As we're expecting rather a lot of visitors in the near future, I'd best return to the surface and inform the relevant parties. I also have the contract of my own, or the contact of my own that might be worth a try. Oh, and who might that be? That's for me to know and you to find out. And on that note, I leave matters here in your capable hands. Best of luck. Meanwhile, in Old Dawn, oh great, is there gonna be another final date, like, another disaster rearing its ugly head here? And I see
Our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allegan make. Summon the best and brightest of our immortal flames and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and Brass Blades for support as you must. Papashan, send word to the guilds. We will require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials. Thiergeist, we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins and to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
As commander of the Stone Torches, my son Zimberk will personally see it done.
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Tizona's blade clear the way. Lord Lolorito, I pray you take charge of the search for Allegan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults. Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it. The final days descend upon our world. If circumstances are truly as dire as they say, Uldar's best efforts may be for naught. And yet, when we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth? That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together. It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now. Uldar will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future. You know your duties. I, Nanamo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, bid you good luck and Godspeed.
Come on, load, you piece of shit. Oh, hold on. Meanwhile, in the black crowd.
We fielded a goodly number, but our ranks are heavy with healers, and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses. Still, it has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
In that case, might I suggest taking us along?
Commander Hext, what are you doing here?
None of the shards in Yerabania are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbors a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
while it pains me to admit it, you are right. Are our deficiencies so plain to see?
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the scions assigned to the Shroud. I know this forest well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
I won't let it all be for nothing. I promise you, Papalimo.
You know, I like Bertha.
There you are! We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already... Ah. That was a roar! A dragon's roar!
Gonna need a montage. Gonna need a montage. You know, out in the Ruby Sea.
And so, in summation, the Eastern Alliance, as well as the Honourable Lord Lolorito himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these
actually, maybe it's
treasures
not
of the
really a
divine,
montage.
and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid. Is that...
Hancock? What a surprise this is. And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask, you see.
Sorry. curious to see what this looks like. Right. Hmm. Though our friends are searching for find the Anaphantite and sacred relics, we only know if they meet our requirements once they have arrived. In the meantime, is there aught else we might do to be of service? Ha, you've already done more than enough. If I had to say, though, I could use someone who knows a thing or two about elegant technology. You there, the lad with the red eyes and matching hair, you seem to know more about than the average scholar. Ha, if only Master Kokol knew how right he was. While he and Graha established a report, why don't we help with the preparations for the great exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond the terms of arrangement. I propose this not to curry favor. As confident as I am that we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This would also be an opportunity to familiarize ourselves with the logistics of traversing the great expanse. If nothing else, it beats twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the adamantite. Well, ain't you a bunch of helpful buggers? If you had a mind to lend a hand, I know where you ought to go. Charlene Hamlet is lousy with researchers and scholarly types busying themselves preparing for the exodus. Ha! That lot need all the help they can get. Well then, off we go. Let's go with this one. And you're not. No, that's not either. Oh, it's been a while since I rode Vagabond. How the hell did I get out of here? Wait. Where the hell am I? Yeah, it's easier to go this way. Oh, there they are. From what I can tell, a lot of people actually live down there. I don't know how much help we can offer, but I dare say they'll benefit from some of that fresh inspiration scholar Montaigne, whatever, I can't read French, mention. Let's start by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. I'll meet by the Aetherite once our work is done. Pulling of the Ark, even with all the Power Master Coco's managed to squeeze out of the Aether burner, it's still not enough apparently. And now I hear the final days have arrived. Horrible creatures running rampant all over. If only we'd begun the exodus sooner. People are dying and there will be no end to it if we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We've spent years preparing for this moment. Believe in the believe in the plan and all will be well. Hello. Are you one of the new helpers? Working on the afterburner. No, Aether burner. Oh dear, I hear things have come to a standstill on that front. Even so, I'd choose that over my current duties. Checking and loading samples day in, day out. It's tiring, thankless work. Still, no one will be cross if I misplace a few legumes or what have you. The form's got enough on their plate as it is, what with the deciding who gets to board the Ark and when. Lots of powerful people have opinions about that. My heart goes out to Master Fortuno and the others. Hardly get a moment's rest, I expect. Do they even have time to sleep? Offering to help? That's very kind, but I should be able to organize the rest of the documents by myself. It's mostly a list of things we'll need once we arrive on the moon, and then whichever star we choose as our new home. My duties largely concern the maintenance of living conditions, so I'll be a lot busier after we depart. I hear that our lunar collaborators come down to assist in our efforts. I'm looking forward to finally meeting them in person after having communicated with them in such a limited capacity thus far. To be perfectly honest, not even the slightest idea what they look like. I do hope they're not enormous looming giants. Why, I would much prefer something small and fluffy, like that beheaded rabbit that ran through. Oh boy. You're gonna love them then. Alright, I'm gonna see the Aetherite. Fancy meeting you here, Kathy. Our friends in the forum brought us to see their teeny tiny toy boat, which is quite impressive considering they didn't use any creation magic. What we're really interested in is the fair itself, though we now find ourselves in a sort of funny, underground, miniaturized version of it. We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears they're rather preoccupied. Honestly, all that time to prepare and they're still not ready. I suppose we'll just have to show ourselves around, or at least that's what we were planning to do until we chanced upon Urian Jera and your good self. Since you're both dawdling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest. Wouldn't that be fun? A tour of Labyrinthos? An unexpected yet prudent suggestion. In the similarities betwixt this artificial environment and Vestua's burrow, 'twould be in our best interest to have the Loporrits acquaint themselves with those conditions deemed optimal by their Charlayan collaborators. I fear, however, that continued reliance upon my limited knowledge would risk narrowing rather than broadening their perspectives. Mayhap thou art better suited to lead this venture. A marvelous idea. Might we begin with that great big what's-it over yonder? Ah yes, the what's-it. I shall leave its explanation to Cassie, chuckle. Okay. Fine. What the hell is it? Aww. Goodness me, to build something so large without creation magic is positively stupendous. Perhaps you could direct our attention to its most important features? Search the apparatus for points of potential interest. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target the area and inspect it with RTA. Alright. Pallet tube. It's not watery here from inside that great big tube. Must be because of those cogs in that gigantic wheel at the top. Oh, I see. That's how they drop the water. There's probably some sort of spiral-shaped mechanism inside it, too. Mushroom-like thing. That looks like the trees in the greatest Ensvale. Hold on, that's a bit of a strange shape. It's thin at the bottom, but big and round at the top. Quite tall for something so unbalanced, too. No, it makes sense. That's where they store the water. What the hell? You spot an ambystoma, an especially lively one at that. It appeared the concept you observed in another time, another place, was approved for life in the wider world, somehow. Axolotl. Whee! No, there they are. It's a little hard to see from here, but is that a golden pipe connected to the top of those things? And I can see through that window another pipe at the bottom. This must be for purifying water drawn up from below. Yeah, it's actually we, you know, there's a B in the front. Well, if I were to hazard a guess, water drawn from the underground, presumably with some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in that tower before being distributed elsewhere. Am I right? I'm right, aren't I? I knew it. A design brilliant in its simplicity. I just say it would take only a moment to install in even the harshest environment. For us leopards, that is. Indeed, securing a reliable source of water is of the most importance for any fledgling settlement. We have read, however, that peoples of Aetheris sometimes make their homes in arid deserts and such. How are they able to survive? Many settlements in Thanalan are built near an oasis, or near waterfalls or something. That seems more broad. Yeah. Oh, so wherever you choose to live, you're never far from water. Oh dear, I worry we won't be able to procure the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from drying out completely, but it would appear they rely on it far more than we'd anticipated. A few adjustments may be in order once we've calculated the average rate of consumption per individual. It may also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtain their water in the first place. Master Alphonse spoke of the machinery responsible for that feat during our journey through Logisticon Alpha, did he not? Mayhap the leopards will share his appreciation for the engineering marvel. Yes, that sounds absolutely splendid. We must journey beyond the sanctuary of Charlene Hamlet. I shall lead the way. You mean we'll have to brave the untamed wilderness? Well, in concern indeed, we could not help but notice that many dangerous-looking creatures with big, nasty teeth lurking beyond the safe confines of the settlement. Were we not escorted here by burly custodians, I dread to think what would have become of us. Regarding to many a hungry predator with aforementioned big nasty teeth, leopards may appear to be a potential, rather appetizing source of sustenance. I impose upon thee to assist. Yeah, of course you are. I've hired shall act to escort it in the living way, cooking way, and trusting way, and growing way that I care. Alright. A more valiant protector than they could not wish for. Godspeed. It's all the same to you. I'd rather not be eaten by some horrid beastie. Long growing way to the water extraction. What's it? Yep, of course. That's right near an agro enemy. Damn it. Thank you so much. I really hope this water extraction method is worth these harrowing experiences. All part of the fun, some might say, but I'd rather not be burnt to a crisp, if that's all the same to you. Oh, I see. My friends, I bid you welcome to Logisticon Alpha. Our destination doth lie at this list top. Pray follow me. You'll need to use this lift should you wish to go to the medial circuit. Let me know if you are headed that way. Marvelous, simply marvelous. So this is where the magic, or science rather, takes place. The perfect environment to sustain life, artificially created. The knowledge we'll gain here will be essential when we start looking for new stars for your kind to inhabit. Apparently, most of them don't even have air for you to breathe. We're all very lucky that the Theris just so happens to provide everything you need to thrive. Did mankind turn out the way they are because of the available resources, I wonder? Yeah, that's actually the case, the latter. Either way, it's nothing short of miraculous, and I cannot wait to see more of it. It's all very wonderful, I'm sure, but I was rather hoping to learn more about your nourishment provision facilities. In other words, where is the food? It would be useful to knowledge and consumables you seek may be found at Mariel Argonomic. As I imagine Singway and the others intend to study every conceivable facet of this apparatus, wouldst thou be so kind as to escort our visiting culinarian? Yes, it sounds much more interesting. Hopefully I will be able to see firsthand some of the delicacies Uringer was telling me about. Prepare to be disappointed. Charlayan food is notoriously bland. There's only one place in the whole country that cooks good food. Even his incredibly vivid, if a bit too verbose, descriptions cannot compare to sampling them myself. Not to mention the theorists will soon be no more, so I must learn all I can while there is still time. Let's brook no further delay. As the place, yes, the heady aroma was enough to guide me here. I spotted several of the fruit and vegetables featured in our compendium. I'd dearly love to try some, but I read that those who help themselves to a farmer's crop without permission are often caught and put into pies. Perhaps you could ask whoever's in charge if they would be willing to part with a few samples. Cooking Way is now accompanying you, keeping him at a distance in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave Cooking Way behind by entering a different area or by speaking with him and selecting the option part ways. You should leave Cooking Way upon you again and return to speak with him at the original location. Okay. Oh, what a fine mess this is. It's you, the one who climbed down the mine shaft. I'd show you around if I could, but I'm rushed off my feet preparing for the exodus. And I'm not the only one. We've all got to find ways to do what we do down here, up there. First on the moon, then on whichever star the form decides will become our new home. It's all sudden, so unreal. Don't you want to go to the moon? No, it's better than waiting for the final days to claim us, but no matter how carefully it's all planned, we'll never be able to take every variety of flora and fauna with us. Even the ones we can take may not survive in their new environment, so many species doomed to extinction. Sorry, that's not what you came to talk about, is it? Nothing quite so dire, I assure you. You merely wish to sample a little of your produce if you may. By all means, help yourselves. Much appreciated, my good fellow. So where to begin? Yeah, I wonder what the Loppers think of the, Vera. Oh, I know what these are. Grapes, yes. Let's see if they are as delicious as they look. So sweet, so sour, the taste is much like a ripe philosopher's carrot, and yet the texture is entirely different. The contrast between the outer skin and the fruit within is most peculiar, though far from unpleasant. Yes, I think I'll try another. Well, that's certainly given me food for thought, though in a far less visceral manner than any philosopher's carrot. But tell me, what is your opinion of grapes? Yeah, I think so too. Yes, they are rather Moorish, aren't they? And from what I've read, quite versatile too. Something about people stepping on them to make intoxicating beverages, as I recall. Anyway, that's enough about grapes for the time being. On to the next tree. Orange by name, orange by nature. What came first, the fruit or the color? Who cares? Let's eat. Yeah. God damn it. Yes, that's, equal parts sweet and sour, as with the grapes, yet nothing alike. Yeah, I may have to consult Oranger about expanding my vocabulary. I simply cannot find the words to describe it. Perhaps what I'm looking for is bitter. It's all very complicated, you know, so many flavors, so many choices, and each individual with their own personal preferences. Now I see why you all turned your noses up at the idea of eating nothing but carrots. Marvelous though they still are, in my estimation. Let no one say I said otherwise. Speaking of carrots, I've yet to sample any of the vegetables. Let's see what's in that field over there. Okay, so, yeah. I see. That color, that texture, are they some sort of enormous round carrots? No, in any case, proper nomenclature is less of a concern than the taste. Blech, it's so hard and flavorless, I may as well be chewing a piece of wood. That all but confirms that these are nothing but more than misbegotten failures masquerading as goodly carrots. I've never tried raw pumpkin before. Stop, stop, stop. Can't you see these are pumpkins? And no one with any sense would try eating them raw. You're supposed to cook them first. Do you not find it an awful bother? Far from it, cooking is a joy unto itself. And what's more, it broadens the range of ingredients that we may safely eat. But above all else, cooking allows us to draw out the full potential of our produce. Pumpkin stew has been one of my favorite dishes for as long as I can remember. And then perhaps even these hard blocks of plant matter can become as delicious as the orange I sampled. I wonder, though, if there's anything even more delicious. How about that yellow fruit over yonder? God, someone set him straight. Whatever wondrous fragrance, with luck it'll have a flavor to match. I have no idea how these are eaten. I'll just bite into it. My tongue, is this poison? Oh. A lemon? You mean it's supposed to taste like this? How can something so similar to an orange be so revolting? It must be some time before my palate recovers from this ordeal. As such, I had best call an end to this round of sampling. Let's say our farewells and return to the others. I mean, lemons aren't that bad. Finished, have you? I trust you found something to your liking. I'm rather enamored with the grapes and oranges, less so with pumpkin, though. I learned it the hard way that they're not to be eaten raw. Then there was the lemons, a deceiver. I still feel so... Oh, God. Haha, first time, was it? I'd hate for you to leave this a bad taste in your mouth, in more ways than one, so I'll give you this lemon muffin I baked. If this doesn't change your opinion, nothing will. More lemon? Have I not suffered enough? Nevertheless, it would be remiss of me to spurn this opportunity to... Ooh, bit of the stick came up there. Learn more about your inscrutable ways. Very well, lemon muffin, do your worst. This is delicious. Although I still detect the hints of lemon, it complements the sweetness of the dough to create a perfect harmony. I never would have guessed its vile bitterness could be utilized so elegantly. My good chap, this is simply breathtaking. See, we rarely use lemon in its natural state, but it has a starring role in all sorts of recipes, and the same is true of any other ingredient. It comes down to making the most of the resources at our disposal, and sometimes that can even be the difference between life and death. I know we won't be able to take every species with us, no doubt. Before I'm agonized over what was worth preserving and what will be consigned to history. Hard choices, but make them we must if we were to survive. If we're to surviving. Such strength of will. Now I know what hides in the seas in your kind. Kind little Brits, we are both born of the accumulated knowledge of the ancients. They learned all there is to learn about the nature of sentient life and the fates of the stars themselves. Once civilization has fulfilled the basic requirements for survival, it will inevitably seek to eliminate all forms of negativity and achieve perfection. And therein lies its folly and its downfall. For perfection is an unattainable ideal. 'Tis the paradox of the immaculate carrot. Its civilizations since time immemorial have deemed the pursuit of perfection as progress. They pay no heed to the cost incurred in the futile oppressed, and all too often become the architects of their own demise, their dreams forever unfulfilled. What then is the alternative? The answer lies in knowing that our existence can never be perfect. To be content with that we have and make the most of it. When life gives you lemon, make lemon. Right, pardon my origin, but what in the seven hells are you on about, and who are you anyway? Cooking way at your service. I'm here to help prepare for the trip to the moon. And once you get there, you'll be able to try my carrots. I've been growing all different kinds. But don't worry, there'll be room for your crops too. We'll work together to preserve as fair a species as possible. You grow up to the challenge. Yes, of course. I look forward to it. Well, this has all been highly productive, probably. Let's go see if Eringer and the others have run out of machinery to inspect, shall we? Okay, I suspect by the time I get to them, it'll be time to end my stream, so let's go and see them, go to where they are, and then probably end it there. Actually, where are they? Yeah, just enough time to see the cutscene. That was most enlightening, especially the part with the lemon muffin. Actually, I was wondering, do you know of any other places famed for their cuisine? Ace has oodles of noodles. I'll suggest them. Would that I had time to visit. Sorry, the more I learn about the Theris, the more I wish we could start from the final days. Alas, Highlands, our orders are to flee, not to resist. If only there was some other way. Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and end it here before, why is it giving me the timer? We're in the safe zone, aren't we? So thank you all for watching me play Final Fantasy XIV tonight. And of course, tomorrow, I'm not sure we'll be playing. I might be playing a new game from my catalog of Steam games, or from my library of Steam games. But like something I've kept on the back burner or something like that. But it could be something we've already played before. And then of course on Saturday we'll be playing more Atomic Heart. So, I'm going to go ahead and play my outro. Thank you all for watching and have a good night. Bye!
She left behind the life she knew, chasing dreams in skies of blue. No more chains to hold her down, just endless roads and city sounds. Cassie's riding wild and free, a drifter's heart in harmony, streaming from the highway's light, a runaway in the dead of night. Hitchhiking through the desert sands, no control, no rules, no plans. Her father's shadow far behind, freedom's taste she's here to find. Cassie's riding wild and free, a drifter's heart in harmony, streaming from the highway's light, a runaway in the dead of night. The road is hard, the nights are cold, but she won't trade it for the gold. The wind, the stars, the open sky, a girl who's never saying goodbye. Cassie's riding wild and free, a drifter's heart in harmony, streaming from the highway's light, a runaway in the dead of night. The nights are cold, but she won't trade it for the gold. The wind, the stars, the open sky, a girl who's never